The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Sicilian Corner, winner of the Italian Heritage Media Award, with your hosts, Tom Zappola and Mike Lamazzo.
Mikey boy, how are you, my main man?
Good. I like this distance between us.
I
This
do
is
too.
Nice.
Well, why is that? Because we have a guest coming in.
Really? Who is it?
Arthur Simonelli, an old friend of ours, is going to be joining us the second half. Arthur is a dear old friend who, a great musician, great drummer. He's had a great professional life. He's played with a zillion different bands, does studio stuff. He played with Herb Reed and the Platters, the Coasters, all those guys.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention his beautiful wife.
Dee Dee, his wife is just
Talk
a
about
peak.
talent.
Oh,
Holy cow.
Dee Dee is she's not joining us.
No.
Dee Dee was with Herb Reed and the Platters.
I know.
She sang with them for years. Very, very talented couple. And
Nice.
you know where they live? In Amesbury.
Right next to Melise, right?
No, right near Cider Hill Farm, right across
Oh,
the
they're
street.
up further. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought they were near the center of town.
All right, you're listening to the Sicilian Corner. Tom Zappola, Mikey Lamazzo. We say this every week now. Please.
Tommy, I'd like to just say, I want to say thank you for inviting me on your show,
What show is that?
the Sicilian Corner.
What are you talking about?
No, I just, I
It
think
says Tom Zapp with
I
Mike.
think it's no. I'm not being fresh. I'm not being facetious.
I think he's being fresh, David.
No.
I could be wrong.
If I had a flag, I think
no.
we'd be throwing a flag right now.
Flag?
There'd be a red flag coming right across you. Pal.
And by the way, please.
Why is it sometimes I feel like a mannequin?
Please a what?
Mannequin.
A mannequin?
Yeah.
What's a mannequin? Christy, what's a
Same thing.
mannequin? Do we know what a mannequin is?
Yeah.
Is that like a lady quin?
It's like a dummy.
No, it's called a mannequin.
That's what I said.
Sure.
I live in Wyndham, so
ask
we
him-
have a little bit of an accent.
Chrissy, ask him how to pronounce deputy. Ask him to say the word deputy.
Mikey, could you say the word deputy for me, please?
Assistant sheriff.
He can't say it. He cannot say the word.
I like it.
Please subscribe, like, and share the show with your friends on Facebook. You can catch us on YouTube. You can listen to us anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. And if you have a comment, a question, or even a topic you'd like to talk to us about, you can make a comment on the show or leave a message in the chat or email me at zapsenior@hotmail.com, Z-A-P-S.
Don't email me because I don't have an email
Mikey,
address.
you know something? Did you get that squared away, by the way?
Yeah.
You're Fairpoint, you're still with Fairpoint?
Yeah.
Mistake number one. I'm going to roll my sleeves up.
How come? You getting down to business?
It's a little warm.
This is getting serious?
It's a little warm.
This is getting serious.
Hey, before we continue, Chrissy, on behalf of Mike and I and David, you had a loss in your family this week, your grandfather.
I did.
Harry Springer. You call him Puppy.
Poppy.
Poppy in Australia.
Yes.
You lost your grandfather, and our condolences to you and your family.
Thank you very much.
Your mom.
He was a great man.
When you lose a grandfather, man, it's tough, especially if you're close.
Well,
Yeah,
You were close with Big Mike, and I was close with Alfio. I mean, we were very close.
I spent more time with him than I did at home.
Same thing with me. As a matter of fact, I get along better with my grandfather than I did my father. Everybody knows that. I had a better relationship.
Is that true?
I did. I had a better relationship with my grandfather than my father.
And he lived in your house, right?
Next door.
Next door.
Next door.
Cool.
Yeah. So anyway, so Arthur's going to be joining us after the first break. We love Arthur. You think he has
Very, very talented.
He always wears a beret. Do you think he brought it in?
I hope so. I don't know.
You think I should wear one? I have one. I wear it backwards. My Cappaduzzo, I wear it backwards sometimes.
What do you call it?
Cappaduzzo.
Cappaduzzo?
Yeah.
How come?
I used to wear it
Why do you wear it backwards?
because number one, I have glasses on, and number two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And when I have the headset on, the thing gets in the way.
That thing?
The thing.
Yeah. Ronnie Valenti. How's the thing?
The
Me
thing-
again. Mike. Mike.
The
The
thing
thing.
gets away.
The thing. What the hell is the thing?
I know, really. You're right. Listen, we got a few emails last week regarding our topic, manscaping. And I've just, everybody that commented to me, I've referred them to you, to Fairpoint.
there was nothing wrong with what we said. And only one person thought it was a little over the edge.
Who was that?
I don't know. No, not at all.
Ellen, I tell you what, we listened to the show.
Barbara took
in the car.
Ellen took no offense to it.
No, she was laughing out loud. We were in on the Mass Pike, and she said she was going to buy me a ball washer. That she was going to get me one for Christmas for my Christmas stocking. So,
really?
Yeah.
How about that eraser, the Beat?
I don't need
B12 or whatever it was.
No,
David got one.
The trimmer.
Yeah.
Dave, the trimmer.
No.
Yeah, I don't need one of those.
No.
With your hair, you don't need one of those. You got an Afghan on your back.
Do it myself, baby. I got it done with science.
You don't use a straight edge.
I do.
No,
not a straight edge.
No, you got to have. You got to really have big ones.
I don't use
big ones to use a straight edge.
I don't use a straight edge.
Holy Jesus!
By the way, we went to. I told you we went to Albany. Well, not Albany, just outside of Troy. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law's house.
You went to Springfield too, right?
We stopped by. We had to make an appearance at the New England.
You had to.
They asked us to at the New England Card Show, one of the big sponsors.
Did you sell any books while you were there?
No, we didn't bring any, but he's one of the big sponsors of the Great American Collectibles Show on every Wednesday night on every platform in the country, hosted by Tom Zappler and Rico Petrocelli along with John Mallory.
Do you let Rico talk much?
Oh, Rico, does Rico hold his own, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes,
Rico holds his own.
he does just fine.
You should have seen.
Rico will keep talking even when you're not meant to. Like, we're going to go to commercial. And then every time we cut the commercial, you go back and watch. Almost before every commercial, you'll hear Tom be like, we'll be right back. And then Rico will be like, brr, 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 and he'll say something.
Last week was hysterical because I think his mind wanders like yours a little bit sometimes. So we have a guest sitting right here.
Is that a knock?
Just a little one. So we have a guest sitting right here. And we're talking, you guys pick up on that last week when we're talking about modern and vintage cards. And I'm asking the guest, he was sitting over there, I'm sorry. I'm asking the guest, so, what is your opinion about the modern market versus the vintage market, blah, 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 blah. We spend like 4 minutes on it, right?
Yeah.
First question Rico asked, as soon as the conversation ends, what do you think about the modern and vintage market? Right?
Yeah.
I said, Rico, we just asked a question, and then he starts laughing. Yeah. God bless him.
He rolls with it. He's an absolute champion.
Yeah, he doesn't get upset.
Oh, God, no.
Nope.
He's
No.
a pro. He's a
So
pro.
he's not a mannequin. He talks.
He's a pro.
Oh, yeah, he talks.
And we did he was with Jim Lomborg on Saturday. They did a signing. And
How did Jim look?
he looks unbelievable. He looks fabulous. He's 2 years older than Rico. No, he's a year older than Rico. Looks great.
Is he a dentist or was a
He's
dentist?
retired.
He
But,
retired.
I have a couple of pictures I'll show you later on that we took together.
Yeah.
And Rico, Jim's almost 6'6".
Oh, I know. He's a big boy.
Rico standing next to him with his arm around him. It's like, wow,
Hey.
big difference. But we had a good time. We
Excellent.
had a nice time.
Excellent. I just want to tell you, you'll never guess who I saw on TV last night. Take a shot.
Carlton Fisk.
Has nothing to do with baseball.
Sal de Benedinis.
Sal was on the night before.
I don't know then who.
Johnny Vegas
No
was
way.
on TV.
What was he on? Wrestling?
Chronicle. Yeah.
About wrestling?
Yeah.
We're going to get Johnny
gotta
Vegas.
score.
David, we got to get Johnny into the Johnny Vegas.
we do.
He's in the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
he really?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
We have to get
No
Vegas.
problem. I was going to
I
mention
love
that, but
John.
I say
I
way
didn't know.
too much. I say way too much.
But you had the steel cage match with him. You beat him. You kicked his ass. You remember that?
Let me know when it's time to leave, okay? Really, he did a nice job.
He's great.
He did a nice job. He's got a wrestling school in Manchester. I don't know if it's his or he's an instructor, but they're teaching all the dance moves. It was freaking hysterical.
Love Johnny.
I loved it.
You remember when he did he did a
Well, he
segment.
could call the races a Rockingham.
Oh, he
couldn't
was great. He did a segment with the WWE for Vince McMahon.
Yep.
Where I can't remember what it was, but he was somebody's manager. But he was hysterical. But the funniest Johnny Vegas, David, in Newburyport for Yankee Homecoming, they had a free-for-all wrestling extravaganza where
I know.
they had 20 wrestlers in the ring, and the last man standing was the champ.
He was the smartest one there.
So, I mean, I was laughing out loud. All these wrestlers, it's all shtick. We know that.
Yeah.
But they're all killing each other, and they're throwing each other on. And all Vegas is doing is he's walking around, and then he sits in the corner and watches he's on the floor watching them wrestle, not doing one thing, right? So now
they're beating the living bejeebus out of each other.
Now it's down to two wrestlers. No, three. Vegas and these two other guys. These two other guys are killing themselves. And they're leaning over the ropes, and Vegas flies across the ring and pushes them both over, and he wins the championship. It was hysterical. The fabulous Johnny Vegas.
But it was so good to see him because it's been a while.
We got to bring him in.
Promise?
Now, you know who his dad was?
Yeah. Valley,
the hypnotist. He
took it very serious. You were off one day. You were traveling. I don't know where you were, but you weren't in. And I asked him to come in and be my co-host. He did a nice job. What a nice-looking man he was.
Good guy.
Nice hair, too.
Good guy.
Beautiful hair, Arthur. Nice, white, nice, a lot of locks.
Arthur, you have nice hair. Arthur Simonelli has nice hair. You still have the thing in the back? It's not long anymore?
Once he started
Your
collecting
audience can't hear him.
I know that. I know the audience can't hear him.
Bring him up. Let's have a conversation with him.
I know. My apologies. Mikey, what do you have against Halloween? Because we were talking about it before the show. What do you have against it?
I never liked it.
Why? Because you're cheap?
No.
Is the candy too expensive?
I don't understand it. I mean, this year, Chrissy.
What don't you understand?
First of all, let me ask the young lady from Australia. Chrissy, do you like Halloween?
Yes.
You do.
Love
David?
I think it's fine. It's getting expensive, though, the candies.
Very
You
diplomatic
too?
answer.
Love it.
It's fine.
I love seeing the kids come in,
when it's over.
handing out candy to little kids. What's wrong with
I pass out candy.
First of all, you hate kids. That's number one. Do you like kids?
I don't hate kids.
Okay, do you like kids?
Let me tell you, when they're about 18,
So you don't. What age do you start liking them? After the age of 17? Because I know you hate kids.
it's tolerable around 14.
14.
Yeah, if they're female.
Okay, so you
I
don't
like. I don't like boys. Little boys upset me. Little girls are cute as hell. When they're babies and they're 4
So
or
do
5
kids
years old.
the trick or treaters? Like, what do you do? Shut your lights off during?
No. I go out there and I greet them, and I comment on their costumes. I went through 3 boxes of whole Hershey bars last year. They annihilated
So
me.
that was
I
my
ran
question.
out. I was embarrassed.
What size?
We talked about this on the air.
What size
I
were the
remember.
Hershey bars?
Whole ones.
Really?
Well, now a whole bar shrinks down to like a half a bar. I mean, it's crazy.
I like, something. I mean, we try to do that because we don't get a lot of trick-or-treaters. I hate giving out those little handfuls
the
of
little
crap.
teeny
We give out
tiny-
the big
yeah.
bars.
You got to give out the big bar,
give out-
man. You got to.
You know, guys,
right?
I live real close to a veterans housing project in Lawrence, where I grew up in South Lawrence. We'd go trick-or-treating. Of course, you had no stairs. You didn't have 3-deckers.
Using a pillowcase, right?
Oh, shit. I mean, you'd be out for half an hour. You had to go empty.
I know.
because you
Same.
couldn't
That's how we used to
and
do it.
there were
in
like
Lawrence.
500 units. All you did was walk up 2 steps. There were 2 houses in each landing. Bing, 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 bing. It was, but I could never understand. My buddy Butchie Licata.
I remember Butchie, sure.
God bless his soul. You know, him and his wife Diane. They love to go to Salem, Massachusetts, and get caught up in that baloney.
I'm not into that either.
This year we're spending over $10 billion. 10 freaking billion.
On candy.
Not just on candy, but on costumes,
So what?
candy.
That's good for the economy. What the hell's
decoration.
wrong with that? What the hell's wrong with you? It's Halloween.
Think about what Halloween is paganism.
Oh, Jesus.
Here we go.
God help me. Help me. Well, shoot
It's
me.
true.
Take me now.
It's based on paganism. If you're as a Christian, you shouldn't even be doing Halloween. And I don't want to bring up. I don't want to. Yeah, you. I'm
Can you
looking at
guys
you,
help?
Zappler. I'm looking at you.
Can you help me here, both of you?
You're on your own.
I mean, can you help me here, Chrissy?
I'll tell you
Come on.
what. Let's take a break.
No. We're not ready for a break. What the hell's wrong with you?
If I want to take a break, why can't I?
All right, let's take a break.
No.
I don't want to.
Let's take a
Okay.
break 6
Chrissy's the
minutes
producer.
early.
Yeah, I'm the one pressing the buttons. I'm not going to do it.
Listen, though.
I
How
just
about
want to
that?
say a couple of words on the show. That's all.
Go,
I want.
go.
That's what I'm saying.
You've got
I
to-
said
So-
it. Let's take a break.
so Pope-
you don't even want to do that.
Wait. So in the 18th century, Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as a time to honor all saints.
That's All Saints Day. But the origin
It ties
the-
in with
the
Halloween a
origin
little bit. I'm
of
just
ghosts,
saying.
goblins,
Can you help me
all
here?
that BS that they do and dressing up like in ghoulish manner.
That's why
I don't
like
get
Halloween.
it. I don't get it.
'Cause
I
it's-
never have. Not even as a
just-
kid. The only thing I like doing for Halloween is maybe pulling a fire alarm. That was cool. That was a lot of fun.
Well, I'll tell you a story.
You know what's cool on Halloween? Instead of having fun and eating candy and dressing up, freaking everyone out that their building's on fire.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a joy.
Although
Oh, we had the fire alarm boxes.
I'll tell you. Do you ever see the movie Butch Cassidy and the Sundance
Sure.
Kid?
Yeah.
Do you remember the guy the guy with the straw hat that kept chasing them, and they kept saying, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Wayne Peters and I, on a Halloween night. Now we're punks. With 14 years old, 13.
What did you dress up as?
I didn't. Can I finish the story? Or do you want?
Oh.
No, I won't.
Oh,
That's
break
fine.
down. Did I interrupt you, honey?
No, okay, that's fine. Tough room today, huh?
It's tough.
Really
Wow.
tough room today, man.
He has a bee in his bonnet today.
Wow. We
Did you lose your concentration?
no. We we threw an egg at a guy's car.
We all did.
Right. And this guy stopped. He stopped. Usually they don't stop. This guy chased us for 45 minutes on foot through the neighborhood.
And you knew the neighborhood.
We was, hiding
out of
under
alleys.
porches, hiding it. This guy just chased us. It was like that scene from Butch Cassidy. Who is this guy? Finally, he gave up after 45 minutes. He must have chased us around 4 blocks. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
4 blocks.
David, did you, when you grew up, did you dress up for Halloween?
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, we would dress up. We graduated to throwing eggs at houses and stuff. It was great.
I think,
You never did stuff like that.
No.
She was good.
is Halloween something
girl.
that, Chrissy,
Yeah,
is
I mess with,
Halloween,
I don't wanna
is it
mess
very
with
important in Australia?
Not particularly. Over the years, in the last sort of 5-10 years, it's become slightly more popular because it's this really cool thing that people like to do. It's called fun, and Australia's decided that they would like to have more fun in their lives, so they've adopted the let's dress in costume and put up decorations, and so yes, their trick or treating has become more of a thing.
I love
over
it.
the
I
years.
mean, I love it.
It's just fun.
I love it. The grandkids come over all dressed up.
I'm very good with the neighborhood kids.
You
I
don't
mean-
sound it, man.
I do.
I like that he said he comments on all the costumes, and then in my head, all I hear is
The hell's that?
Yeah, exactly.
The hell's
Mia,
that
what
thing?
is
Get
that?
thing
Mia,
off.
what
yeah,
is this?
Mike, you're honestly,
Spider who?
you can't sell us now. You can't sell us now. You've already
Captain
basically
America who?
let the cat out of the bag.
I played a game.
So you're acting.
I pass out the whole. I don't get it.
So why don't you just shut your lights off, and watch TV?
No,
'Cause he's not a
and then they
curmudgeon.
say, "Oh, that old man Lamazzo." No, you know something. Everybody.
See, I would egg his house.
He becomes that guy like, don't go near old man Lamazzo's house.
I'd egg his house. If I were the kids in the neighborhood, I'd egg your house.
It's a tough crowd.
He'll
Arthur,
get you.
tough.
He'll get
All right,
you.
we're going to take a quick break. We come back.
All
Arthur
right,
Simonelli is going to
fine.
be joining us.
Can I say it?
Yeah.
Say whatever the hell you want.
Go.
Stay tuned. Listen to our sponsors because they make this show possible. We'll be right back.
Hello, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
Looking for that something special? All of us here at the Sicilian Corner suggest trying Ristorante Uno, located at 119 Salem Street in Boston's historic North End. For the most exquisite dining experience in an intimate setting that serves authentic regional Italian cuisine and features old country service. Try Ristorante Uno. Did we mention their award-winning wine cellar? Ristorante Uno, 119 Salem Street in Boston's historic North End. Call 617-573-9406 for reservations. That's 617-573-9406. Tell them the boys from the Sicilian Corner sent you.
Today, Lawrence General Hospital has affiliations with leading Boston academic medical centers. Top specialists from Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center and Floating Hospital for Children at Tufts Medical Center work with our local doctors to bring world-class care close to home. Today, amazing partnerships are happening at Lawrence General Hospital. To learn more, visit lawrencegeneral.org/today.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine is pleased to announce the opening of their American College of Radiology accredited MRI unit at their location at 16 Pelham Road in Salem, New Hampshire. So now, in addition to receiving the best orthopedic care in the Merrimack Valley, as well as physical and occupational therapy at Optima Sports Therapy and Rehab, you can also have your MRI, all in one convenient location. The doctors and staff of Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine have been dedicated to providing outstanding medical care to the Merrimack Valley in southern New Hampshire since 1984. Located on Route 97, just off Exit 2 from Route 93 North, on the second floor of the Workout Club of Salem. You deserve the best care, and that's exactly what you'll get from the board-certified surgeons at Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine. Please call 603-898-2244 to schedule an appointment.
A loyal sponsor for the Sicilian Corner is Hilton Oil Company. Hilton Oil has been located right across from the South Lawrence Common since 1932 at 101 South Union Street. Hilton Oil Company specializes in 24-hour burner service, oil deliveries, including automatic deliveries serving all the Merrimack Valley area, plus portions of southern New Hampshire. If you want your car fixed right the first time, bring it to Hilton's state-of-the-art service station. Remember, Hilton's is also a Mass State Inspection Station. Hilton Oil Company, 101 South Union Street in Lawrence. Call 978-687-9793.
This is Cindy
and Mike Kunstler,
owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
In addition to the spectacular views overlooking the golf course, we have an incredible new chef, Oscar Figueroa.
We still have all the favorites, but Oscar has created a lot of excitement with his new specials.
Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery, tender, lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
See you soon.
Okay, we are back, and Mike, you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, you were a little edgy in the first.
I'm not edgy.
Oh, when our producers say he's a little edgy, you're a little. Did you have like a rough night?
Oh, did either of us say we're a little edgy? I like how he uses us.
I don't think so.
That's
Chrissy,
a lie.
Don't throw us into the mix.
That's a lie.
Don't throw us into the mix. He's trying to soften the blow. Like, everyone said it. Everyone said it.
I'm so used to him
I mean, you're a little. You got a little edge on today.
I got a great night's sleep.
Is that what
I'm
it is?
Full of energy.
You didn't have an argument with Barbara?
No.
Nothing?
No, not at all. Things are smooth as
Life
glass.
is good?
Yeah.
You sure?
Sure.
I mean, you only hate kids.
I didn't say I hated them.
You only hate Halloween.
I didn't say I hated them.
You hate Halloween.
I never said I hated them.
Okay, you dislike them.
It's deflection.
You hate
What's
Halloween.
going on in your life right now, Tom?
Me? Oh, I'm good.
Why are you picking on Mike so much?
I'm good.
Pick on my guy.
Life is good. Life is good. All right, listen, Arthur, welcome, bro.
Great to be here, man.
Nice
Good
to see
you guys.
My son. How are you?
Arthur, we go way back now. It's been years.
Yeah.
You know, Arthur, when Mike and I were working together at the concerts in the Common.
Yep. Those were something.
I mean, we had you
great
guys
memories.
as backup bands several times. And, we had Herb.
First time was with the Platters.
The Platters.
Every time you mention Herb Reed, I have to think of the injunction they put against us.
Oh, yeah. That was before. That was the year before.
He was.
That's when Pat was with Fame.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And we had Dave. This is a great story, Christy. You'll love this
We
story.
got to hear it. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Why don't you tell it?
Well, no. That's okay.
you tell
Well,
it.
first of all, you were not involved because
I was there.
Right, but that was the year before, correct?
I was there.
I was handling the entertainment.
You tell the story.
I was handling
Chrissy,
the entertainment.
Listen to this.
It's really fun.
I'm trying. You're making it very difficult.
Seriously, do you want me to tell the story?
Yes, please.
I was handling the entertainment, and I was using a booking agent out of New York City.
The biggest one in the world.
Well, no, he wasn't. But
Well,
he
pretty
was,
close.
He was up there.
William Morris?
No, it wasn't William Morris. I didn't use William Morris.
Kenny DiCamillo?
Not for the first year. I did
Who's
not.
telling this story?
I used Kenny DiCamillo for. I used Kenny.
Afterwards.
I used Kenny.
What a nice man. Tell the story, Tom.
He's trying.
I used Kenny DiCamillo. Man, you got to really, man. You're like all over the place today.
Stop reacting. Just
I
tell the
used
story.
Kenny DiCamillo to book Jerry Vale for that show. I used William Morris for Jerry Vale. We had another act also, and it was the Drifters. And I used a booking agent, a smaller booking agent out of New York City to book the Drifters. Called him up. He was a great guy.
The injunction was against the Platters. What's the Drifters got to do with it?
He's getting there.
Can you do me a favor? I am begging
I'm
you.
being serious.
No, it wasn't. It was the Drifters. It was the Drifters.
Pat Benty went to the Moakley Courthouse, and he put the injunction against us because we used the Platters, but they sent us a phony group. And then in mid-flight, they changed it, and they became the Drifters. They changed their costume, and they became the Drifters,
No,
your
Mike,
horses patoot. Think about it. You know, you're going to call me up later today and say, Mike, I'm very sorry.
Arthur,
you're
do you know the story?
100% correct.
Arthur knows the story.
Wait a minute. I ran and got my Tam just to sit
Say
here.
the story. Say the story.
Arthur, okay,
I'll listen to Arthur.
Herb Reed was involved in the injunction. It
Yes.
had nothing to do.
He showed up in court.
It had nothing to do with the Platters. It had to do.
Okay,
Mike.
This is a great story. I'd like to hear from Arthur.
Yeah.
We've got him all the way in here
Well,
today. Let's have a chat with Arthur. Welcome.
I won't speak to. Welcome. Glad to be here. Nice to meet you.
Nice to
both
meet
of you.
you.
Arthur, tell us the way you remember
We're just
it.
going to take over the show.
I don't know about this particular instance, but this happened many times. The agent you're talking about delivered a lot of bands, and they weren't the original bands.
Correct.
And they would send to like the Platters, Coasters, Drifters.
Correct.
And on numerous
And
occasions.
I had booked the Drifters. I had booked the Drifters. I had booked the Drifters. And what happened was Pat Benty and Herb and Mary Wilson from the Supremes, they filed an injunction against us for booking the fake Drifters.
Is that the way you remember it? No, you don't. Tell me the truth. Now,
He's gonna
listen
plead
to
the
this.
fifth.
I'm just saying what
Plead the fifth on this.
usually is
So
happening.
then I called
It
One
was
second.
multiple.
Time out.
Usually he sent more than one act.
Correct.
Okay? And
the band.
Same people.
as far as Herb,
Just
he
change
was
the
only
costume.
concerned with the Platters. So
Right.
He was saying you can't use those guys, the name of the
Correct.
Platters and those singers. And more often than not, they would say, okay, we won't do it. So they would just take the same people, change the repertoire, change the clothes. And
Correct.
Now they're
and
the
that's what
Drifters.
happened. So we went from that night. We didn't have the Platters that night. We went from the Drifters. He said, fine, no problem. I'll send the Coasters. And he sent the Coasters, but it was the Drifters. It was the same band.
Same people.
It had nothing to do with the Platters.
The next year, Herb played.
Well, because we were forced into it.
That's right. That's correct, Mike. The next year, we brought Herb in with, all right? So that's what happened.
Is that what happened?
I think so, yeah.
I'm glad that's settled. Moving on.
Go ahead. Ask.
He did. He just said it.
No, usually in that situation, it wasn't just one band. It was usually multiple acts. And they would just for Herb to be there.
That's right.
Physically, it had to be involving the Platters.
That's right. And this all happened 2.5 hours before 18,000 people were showing up for a show. So
poor Steve Zanni.
When we found out that he said, "Oh, we'll send the Coasters," we knew. I knew that it was the same band, but
change the cost.
The show had to go on, and by the way, they were very good.
They were good.
They were excellent.
Yeah.
They were excellent. This band, the Drifters, they were the Coasters. Who else were they?
The Platters.
The Platters. They were everybody, and they were no relation to anybody, but they were great. And Herb, the backstory is that Herb Reed from the original Platters, Mary Wilson from the Supremes, and Pat Benty, a dear friend of ours, they were a part of a group called FAME, which stands for
Former Artists Against Musical Exploitation.
So they
wanted the old groups to get their
They
fair
wanted,
share.
right, because these guys were getting paid, and they didn't deserve it. They filed an injunction against us
just before we're ready to do the show.
They hit me with a cease and desist.
How did they know that this was happening?
Because of our relationship with Pat.
Right?
No, Arthur, did you? Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Did you play? Were you the backup band on that first feast?
What year are you talking? I started with Herb in 2000.
2000, so that would be 22 years ago. It was our 75th, so it was 25 years ago. No. Okay, you weren't.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that happened a lot of times that I was with them the first 2 or 3 years with the Platters. We'd go to some town, and we actually did a great show in New Orleans, and there was a phony Drifters band on the bill. And Herb said, "You know the deal." He says, "If you want these people on the, we're out, and you still have to pay us." So they nixed the Drifters, and they didn't play on that bill.
No kidding.
Yeah.
The next year we did have Herb and the Platters. They were fantastic.
And paid more money for them, too.
Yeah. Didn't we have a couple of others, too?
Yeah,
we had Little Anthony. Didn't we have
No.
Was that wasn't that year?
No,
I played on that with Little Anthony.
You did?
You had the
Yeah.
Crystals.
That was
the
a
Crystals,
great-
Little Anthony.
You had Dennis Yost.
from the he was great. And what's his name? Guy just passed away. More today than yesterday.
Oh, Pat Upton.
Pat Upton. Yeah. They were great. That was a great show.
I actually played for everyone but Little Anthony. It was a fun show.
Pat set that up. Pat really had a lot to do with that show.
That was a very, very good show. That was a very good show. But anyways, you've played several times on our stage at the feast. But I mean, you've had a great musical career. You've backed up a lot of the different bands. Have you ever done studio work?
Not in a long time, but yeah, funny stuff. A lot of friends putting albums together, or CDs, I should say, or now, whatever. Mm-hmm. Need a drummer, and I.
Well, I got to tell you something. It's from one drummer to another. You're a hell of a drummer.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Where did you grow up, Arthur?
I grew up in Everett, Massachusetts.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Good football team. Always had a good. Did you play ball in school?
I went to BC High. I didn't go to Everett High, but I played football. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How did you get into drumming? How did you get into the musical end of it?
Since I was a kid, I always wanted to drum. I use it for my promo shots, actually. I have pictures of me at 4 years old behind a drum set.
Oh, I love it.
And I always wanted to drum. I got into sports.
Okay.
And then kind of the music faded. My older brother's a guitar player. He was playing. And I auditioned for his band at the age of 16. I've been playing in clubs ever since.
Honest to God.
And one thing led to another. Herb through Pat, because I used to play in Pat's band for years. That's how I met Herb.
I didn't realize that. Did you play with Pat when he was at the casino all the time? Or was that before?
No, I met Pat in
when he was
1991.
Okay,
I was playing a gig.
I'm going back to the late 70s.
He walked in. I said, "I've heard of you." I shook his hand, and literally 3 days later, he needed a drummer and was playing a gig.
Pat Benty,
friends ever since.
Pat Benty in his heyday was fabulous.
Roy Orbison.
He was he was. I can remember when he was at the casino with the Shaboom Band, and he used to open up just about every weekend.
Yeah.
For all the big bands and the Righteous Brothers, whoever. and he would
That's
do
something, huh?
He would do crying for. I mean, it was unbelievable. He sounded just like
him.
Roy Orbison.
No, he did a great job. That was a fun show, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much retired now, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. He's in Florida, so.
Yeah, I communicate with him once in a while.
He's retired.
Every 3 or 4 months I hear from him. Yeah.
Is his son in the business?
His son was up until a couple of years ago, and he got married. He's got kids.
Yeah, well,
and he
that'll end that.
He bought an old historical building in Salem, Mass, and turned it into like a B&B type of thing. That's what he's been doing.
No kidding.
Yeah, there was a nice picture on Facebook with him a couple of days ago.
Oh, okay.
And Pat was complimenting him, and he was talking about his grandchildren. So
And he was bumming that he couldn't be up here.
Yeah.
Arthur, you see now your band, you're playing with. Now you're in the big time. You're playing with a big 10-piece band.
I play with a band called The Connection.
Horns and everything.
Yeah, horns, 4 singers
Oh,
up
I
front.
love that.
It's a really, really good band.
Really?
Yeah.
And you do a little of everything?
Big Sinatra, literally to very, very current. Dua Lipa, and we do a lot of Latin music. You know, the bulk of it's Motown, classic dance, and now 80s is oldies now.
No, it's amazing.
That's our oldies show.
It's amazing.
Is
this a wedding band?
Predominantly corporate functions, weddings. Anyways, we're all over New England. We're in Newport, Rhode Island a lot. Just came back from Millinocket, Maine, which was about 100 hours up 95.
That's a freaking ride.
That's where I was when you called me to do the
what,
show.
really?
I was in Maine, yeah.
I don't know about you, but growing up, a band similar to that, and they were the hottest band called Mickey, Larry, and the Exciters. Do you remember Mickey and Larry?
Yeah.
And then
they turned to J. Larry and the Exciters.
and then they morphed into Max Mob.
No.
Well, a lot of
different bands, yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of the originals from Mickey and Larry, when it became Max Mob players,
okay, yeah.
trumped a lot of the horn players, and but.
The Peppermint Lounge.
Peppermint Lounge at Salisbury Beach. Mickey and Larry, that was a great band.
Great show. All those bands.
They were incredible.
Mike and I, we gave it the attempt.
We really did.
And we almost put it together about 5 or 6 years ago.
To do a
show with Mickey, Larry, and the Exciters.
Wow.
And we spoke to both of them, and they were going to do it.
Larry Altop was all in.
And then Mickey had some problems. And he had some legal issues. Let's put it that way. So he had just gotten out. But
let me guess. Herb Reed came to visit him, and anyways, yeah.
Anyway, make a long story short, we couldn't put it together, but they wound up. I don't even know if you know this.
Yeah,
Jimmy
at that little bar, right?
No, well,
in
Jimmy,
Salisbury Beach.
Well,
Larry
but
came up.
that was Larry.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Sambataro, Jimmy? Jimmy's he's a St. Alfio guy. Jimmy played with Mickey and Larry and Max Bar.
Very talented also.
He put it together so that they did a show. Mickey and Larry did a show via Zoom from Larry's house.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it's on, you can find it on Facebook. You can find it on Facebook.
You know what's funny is when I first started playing professionally, it was the tail end of that era.
Oh.
Things were changing. Bands were 10, 11, 12 pieces. Now they were going to 6 and 5. And that's when I kind of got into it. But I knew all those bands because of my older brother who played with some of them. I filled in. And I was, at an early age, I was in all the Lucifers and all these places.
Mason Dixon. Yeah. Mason Dixon in the line.
Yep.
Oh, man, there was some
If
great
I tell you how
bands.
many tickets I used to get, we'd go into Lucifer. I could never find a parking space. So I always park in front of a hydrant.
Yeah.
Guaranteed I was going to get a ticket, but it was convenient. Anyway, long story short, when you played for the St. Alfio Society, when you worked with Tom and myself, how were you treated? Was it done in a professional manner?
Oh, very, very.
Really?
Great sound company, big stage. Everybody was accommodating.
Everything was good.
The food across the street.
Thank you.
That was
Thank you.
one of the highlights. But
Actually, we put a lot of effort into that.
no,
You
it was
and
good.
I.
That was.
And the great
People
crowds.
don't realize
We put a lot of effort into
after doing some of those shows.
Yeah.
And I had to learn from scratch. He's the guy who taught me.
But
I have a whole different appreciation when I go see an outdoor show.
Yeah.
I look at it totally.
Well, you know what the best
different
part
ways.
when we used to get, and we brought some, we brought Frankie Valli in, we brought Neil Sedaka. We used to get the rider, So Mike and I would look at the rider. Nope, not happening. I want a fifth of Jack Daniels.
No problem.
I want 65 salami sandwiches, light on mayo. Nope.
That was my thing.
That's what we did.
Lucille, my wife Lucille, would look at. She said, "You're not going to send that back, are you?" I said, "Absolutely." I mean, but
you know what we used to do? We used to have soft drinks. We'd have some wine, and we'd have Don Smariglio from Borelli's make up a nice Italian platter. That was it. You want some chips? We'll throw some chips in.
No, but we did have.
No, we had some good stuff.
What's his name?
Joey
Sam
McCoy.
Amber.
Yeah,
Sam Amber
he
came
did a
in and he catered. That's when you guys were getting the nice meals
no, it
over
was
there.
awesome.
We did some.
That's when Tommy disappeared.
But
Tommy gave it up, and I had it. And we had
some of the riders were hysterical. I mean, they were like 8 pages long.
Yeah.
You know, I called my sister up and say, Anna, he just start crossing stuff off, right? I called Kenny DiCamillo from William Morris. Kenny, what the hell is this? Tom, just cross out the crap you don't want.
Neil Sedaka wanted a special type of wine.
Yeah.
We opened for him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's right.
Time,
Anyway, long story short, he wanted a special meal. We told Sam. Sam prepared it. Do you think he even showed up for the meal? No. He heard about the Andover Inn. He decides, he says to our driver.
Well, he stayed there. We had put him up there.
Jack Roy. No, he was staying at the
that's right.
Wyndham
He went there for dinner.
Yeah,
that's correct.
He says to the driver, "Can you take me over to the Andover Inn?" He said, "I heard the food's very good there." So all the stuff we did was for naught. So he goes.
We ate it.
And then people started knowing who he was. He sat down at the piano and started playing. In the meantime, our first act is on. Where the hell is he?
We got 18,000 people out there, and he's playing at the Andover Inn, singing with the.
I said to Jack Roy, Jack was the driver. Jack did everything for us. Yeah. Jack, where the hell are you? He says, I'm over by the high school. You got this place so gridlocked. He says, I can't get through the crowd. We sent 2 motorcycle cars.
They had to walk him. He walked.
The last.
Yeah, I actually remember that. Him walking through the thing,
Yeah.
So we got him on.
All right, we're going to take a quick onThe. We're reminiscing with our good pal, Arthur Simonelli from The Connection, formerly of Code 51's the name of your company.
Do you remember my music business, Al?
Awesome.
You're still using that, Code 51.
Duo, trio, 8-piece, whatever it calls for.
Fantastic. You do funerals?
Which one?
Not me. We'll be right back.
This is David from the Sicilian Corner. You know, Mike, Tom, and I love to go to Salisbury Beach, but we love different things and we can never agree. Tom likes the casual family-style dining with great Italian cuisine, Capri Seaside Italian Grill. Me, I love the elegant romantic vibe, Sea Glass with the amazing view and terrific menu with prices that'll make it the place you want to visit every week. Mike loves a drink in his hand and a cool ocean breeze right off the surf, and the rhythms of an even cooler reggae band. We all know Mike loves Bob Marley tunes at Surfside. Who doesn't love a great show? National acts, comedy, regional favorites in the beautiful and intimate Blue Ocean Music Hall. Lucky for us, Atlantic Hospitality is the host of all these great places, and they treat everyone like they're Mike Lamazzo. And best of all, we never have to choose. Park the car once and all of this fun is right at your fingertips. We can have it all in the heart of Salisbury Beach. Find out about all the ways you can have a great night at Salisbury Beach at NorthshorePavilion.com. And Mike, Tom, and I will see you there.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
Hi, this is Mike, and I would like to tell you about the Deborah Care Law Offices, a firm that is focused on estate planning, probate, trust administration, and elder law issues. You will feel comfortable discussing important issues concerning both you and your loved ones, as well as having the information you need to make an informed decision about your family's future. How do I know? Because I'm a client of Dan Deborah Care. If you want to have peace of mind knowing that your loved ones are protected, call Deborah Care Law Offices today. In Massachusetts, 978-686-4645. In New Hampshire, 603-894-4141.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
This is Cindy,
And Mike Kunstler.
owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
In addition to the spectacular views overlooking the golf course, we have an incredible new chef, Oscar Figueroa.
We still have all the favorites, but Oscar has created a lot of excitement with his new specials.
Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery, tender, lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
You know, Arthur, before the break, we were talking, you and Mike were talking about the what's happened in the music, in the venues with concerts and stuff. And I was telling you guys, I was talking to Anna about that, my sister, you know, who's wired into the business. And she was telling me that, interestingly enough, you made a comment. What was the comment you made about bands today? There aren't.
I mean, as kids, to go see a live band, even if they weren't famous, was a big deal. And I think somewhere along the line, that excitement just kind of stopped, the enticement of people wanting to see live entertainment. So the bands that we grew up that are still touring, people of a certain age want to go see those bands. They have a million hits. They're part of your
Chicago.
the music of your life, the soundtrack of your life. The last so many years, there's not the kind of longevity. There's not that many bands, and
that's interesting.
You know,
soundtrack of your life.
Right.
I like that terminology. I really do. And you know, in a way, it is.
But no, I listen to the '70s channel on the XM, and my life flies before
But you know
my
what's
eyes.
interesting? I'll tell you what. This kind of an interesting dynamic is that kids today. Listen, if today's acts, a lot of it's rap. A lot of it's rap music, and I'm not criticizing it one way or the other.
How do you dance to it?
Well, there's some very talented rappers that also sing. That's huge in my opinion. Yeah. But a lot of the kids today, the older millennials into Gen X's, when they go to a concert, you know who they go see? U2. They go see the Rolling Stones. They go see Dave Matthews.
Well, we done it. Well, like my niece's group, my brother's a guitar player. They love the Beatles, you know, Steely Dan.
I find that very interesting.
But some people didn't grow up in a household like that.
Exactly.
They only know what's current, and
Tommy,
then they all grow it, and then it's kind of it's gone, you know.
Did you tell me that McCartney could not read music?
Couldn't read.
Still can't. I find that mind-boggling.
McCartney wrote a lot of his music just by ear. Well, you know how it is. Playing on a piano.
Song.
Yeah. Just playing on a piano. You know what I mean? And that's how he writes his. That's how a lot of
musicians.
A lot of musicians
can't.
Yeah, a lot of musicians cannot read. A lot. Have you ever heard of a band? There's a band that I think you would love. Are they from Australia? No, they're Scandinavian. Dirty Loops. Have you?
Oh yeah.
Dirty what?
They do all those remakes.
How good is that drummer?
They're young kids too.
How good is that
Phenomenal.
drummer?
What's the name?
Musicians.
Dirty Loops. And the bass player, what do they call that? It's a new way of playing the bass. It's not. It's tap bassing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's not popping. It's not thumping.
This kid, this bass player, this band.
Real talented.
I mean, I don't get impressed very often, but these 3 or 4 kids, they are phenomenal. Phenomenally. Yeah. All great musicians, great bands. The drummer is just tremendous. Yeah. From Scandinavia.
Scandinavia, from Scandinavia.
Yeah, I had never. But
in my car, I'm on the golden hits, the 50s, Sirius FM. I know all the words. I sing. I dance. I don't care how much the traffic is. I'm having a hell of a time.
Buddy Holly, those guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, again, that's a generational thing, and I support you in that.
I was born in 45.
Absolutely.
So, you know something, in the mid-50s, rock and roll was just really starting to...
See, you're an 80s guy, right?
Late 70s.
I'm 70s, man. I'm 70s. I love...
You're not 60s?
Late 60s. Late 60s. I like listening to obviously from the Beatles up, but I love the Allman Brothers, Santana, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I love that music.
Yeah.
You know, that's part of my fabric.
You know, our producer, one of our producers, Chrissy, she's got quite a voice, and she sings, and she covers all types of music, all genres, right?
Yes.
She plays with a big band once in a while. What's the name of the band?
Yeah, Adagio Big Band. We've got a Sinatra Spectacular show coming up in November.
How many pieces?
16.
16.
Wow.
Based
There's
out
like
of here? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, or Chelmsford. Mass.
And she sings. She's
Nice.
a front person. Front person. What do they call her? Is it called
Lead singer? I don't know, whatever you want.
Front lady?
That's a
Not a
that's
front
a very
man.
Larry in the Exciters term. The front
man.
The front show. The
front man. They used to do the splits and all that. So, from a drumming standpoint, who did you know? Who are your idols?
My idols. Well, as a little kid, obviously, I was blessed to grow up in a household of my parents loved music. My older brother, my aunt who lived with us, was a Beatle maniac. My parents went to the theater and bought the soundtrack to everything there. So there was everything from like show tunes to my father liked a lot of like Pete Fountain, obscure jazz people from Stan Getz,
Buddy Rich,
those people. So I listened to a lot of stuff, which has helped me immensely, especially with fill-in work.
Sure.
I've been thrown into a drum chair without even knowing what we're doing, and someone will go,
"Wow,
you know, we're doing blah blah blah. Just follow me." I'm like, "Oh my god!" Then we start playing. I know this tune. I've heard this before. But anyways, yeah, Buddy Rich was the king. But I'm a Beatle nut, and I love Ringo.
You know something?
And, John Bonham.
John Bonham was off the charts, but
yeah.
Ringo's star. I mean, in my opinion. At the beginning, I still think he doesn't get his just due. He is a tremendous mechanical drummer, where his technique is not like standard norm technique. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, the guy's a great drummer.
It's great. One of my favorites. And I just heard an interview with him, and he always said he didn't care if he was the star of the song or he got the spotlight. It was all about the feel. It's all about the foundation, and I've been like that my whole life.
His bass pedal was always a little off, but by design. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, that was
the guy
his
could
thing.
go.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know,
he just had to cancel a couple of shows.
Did he really?
Yeah.
You know how he's like 81.
Yeah.
Well, I know he's a couple of years older.
He's
than
81.
me.
I know he had a big for his 80th.
You would never know it.
He's actually he's 82 because he's 2 years. He's 2 years older than McCartney. He's 2 years older than McCartney. Just turned 80. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Man, I can't even. Yeah.
You know,
no arthritis, no nothing. I mean, to be able to do that with the drumsticks.
The only guy that's really suffered physically from a neurological standpoint, I don't know how he does it, is Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton's got severe neurological problems, and he really fights his way through it. But as a kid, how old were you in 1964 when the Beatles appeared on Ed Sullivan? You must have been a little squirt.
I was 3.
You were 3, so you don't remember that. No. I remember. I don't know if you guys.
You were 3.
Michael, you remember that, right? I mean, you remember. I remember. David, it was before your time. I will never, ever.
I wasn't alive.
Forget that snapshot in time. I will never forget that.
It's funny how
snapshot
certain things you focus in on.
I can remember.
All of us, you're back as a teenager.
Absolutely.
Or you're with a
I was only in 6th grade, but I can remember sitting in front of that TV. We had, the hype had been so great. And when Ed Sullivan introduced these guys, and you couldn't even hear them hardly because of the audience going absolutely bonkers, it was like, oh my God. And in this country, that 5 minutes changed the course of music in the United States.
So much.
Forever.
Absolutely.
Forever.
Yeah.
There was a show with, was it Bobby Goldsboro and those type of singers?
Oh,
they were like matinee idols and everything. This is the Beatles landed because we were dinosaurs overnight.
Done.
You know that baby.
That happened to a lot of bands. Yeah. Because you know what that happened to? But they bounced back. The band that took the biggest hit when the Beatles landed and the British invasion were the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys took a major hit for a very short period of time.
But they came back.
But they kind of reinvented themselves a little bit, and then they came back, and Brian Wilson wrote some great stuff. But there was a little same thing with Frankie Valli, the Four Seasons. Those bands took a big hit in that little period of time, but then they all it all kind of blended and they all started coming back. That happened to a lot. Some of them didn't, never, like the guys like Bobby Goldsboro. A lot of those guys, It's My Party, what's the name? Not Petula Clark, but you know who I'm talking about. A lot of those, the Crystals, a lot of those bands and those groups, they kind of, that was the end for them. They became, bands playing in, 300-seat venues.
Yeah.
Right?
That's got to be really hard to, especially if you've been up at the top.
But all those bands made it back doing oldies,
Well, back to Herb Reed.
Yeah, perfect.
I think I want to say right around like the early 80s, they started with like the Happy Together type of thing. And all of a sudden that age group for the music was like, we can, because, back then, that's why a lot of these phony bands got away with this. No one knew a lot of, you didn't know everybody in the bands, like the Beatles, everybody and what they look like.
Good point.
Back then, they were listening to records and the radio. The Platters were really big overseas before even here. So, if they sound good and they're singing the songs you want to hear, nobody was complaining.
I want to ask you about your wife, Dee.
Oh.
We got about 2 minutes left.
Okay. But she went to Japan and she sang out there for quite a bit, right?
She's had her one-woman show for years, China, Japan.
And they loved the music.
Yeah.
I mean,
She's
no matter what country, you may not understand the words, but she was very well accepted. She'd be out there for 2 or 3 months, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she was out there for a long period.
Yeah.
Classy lady. You did all right for yourself.
I'm very lucky, man.
If we ever brought you back, would you bring Dee with you?
If she can be here, she'd love to. She couldn't be here today when you called. I would have definitely brought her.
We love her. Dee Dee's very talented.
Nice lady.
I mean, she can do everything. She does. She can do Motown. She does jazz. Chrissy, you would love her voice.
Yeah.
You would absolutely love her voice. She does a little of everything,
I heard she's amazing.
She really is.
She has great taste in husbands, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That goes without saying.
I heard that, too.
When you guys told us, the first thing we said to her was, what the hell were you thinking? Just teasing. Arthur, as always, man, thanks for coming by, man. We love you. You mean a lot to us. And we're going to see you down the road. The reason I asked them what you guys got was for the feast, but too expensive. So. With that being said, Mikey, go home.
Take a shower.
Take some drugs, smoke some weed, do what you got to do, relax on the couch.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go for a nice walk.
Yeah, like 15 to 20 miles. You got to work off some of that.
Hurts.
Work off some of that stuff. With that being said, remember, if you
everybody.
If you can't make fun of yourself, please don't make fun of anyone, and have a great week.
Ciao.
Audio Jungle.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.